So I know we can clean up this. I tested that out already. This cleans up in just a couple of clicks. So it did take a little troubleshooting to figure out what's going on here. And for some reason, I don't know why it picks and chooses which of these layers it wants to run through. But if you look at it, it takes a little bit of reverse engineering, like what these layers are, right? So the siding is trimming okay. The airspace is trimming okay. Mineral wool is where it doesn't want to trim. And it's probably because it can't interlace them that way. So it's like by the time it hits a building material that's too high, that it's going to run through the core.
So like
Everything.
mineral wool is high?
Yeah, that's what I found out. So if you keep the composite selected and then go up to your building materials, let me reserve this. Hopefully none of this hangs up on me. You can sort by priority here. So we could see that the highest building material in that list, all the green selected ones are the building materials used. So the structural core is 512, but the mineral wool is 610. So if we drop that down to like 510, then that
Why would
cleans
you do
up
that
that.
by default? That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So there's that. It's almost it's like it's better, but it's still messed up.
Right. And there are some things in the composite settings here that we might need to adjust. The other thing that I noticed is, let me reserve these things. Oh,
No,
looks like I'm gonna, is it okay if you're not online right now?
I'm not on it. I'm on a different one. I'm on Torch Lake right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna, just so you don't have to join in and release all, I'm gonna boot you out. So you're gonna get a message when you join back in that you were forced out. You'll just say
Oh
rejoin
yeah,
and
fine.
it might
Yep.
prompt you to save.
No problem.
Um, so I'll just go ahead and boot you out here. It's gonna run you through like a couple of steps to get back in.
No
Oh,
problem.
have to send and receive in order to. But I think at this point we get into what we were talking about on the earlier session about like shuffling junction order and stuff like that. There's also some pen settings that we need to adjust here, but we'll get to that here in a bit. So next thing though is I don't want to see these pieces run through.
For sure not.
So if we say that, I think this one and this one want to run through before this one. So I'm going to take this one and drop its junction order back a little bit. Take these ones and bump their junction order up a little bit. Maybe that helps. Doesn't seem to. It's always a trial and error issue. Well, it might be, let's check the building material priority of this versus that. So this one right here, we go to its composite settings, that's using Gypboard. And then this one right here is using Gypboard or tile finish rather and backer. So backer,
Oh, the other one has tile on it too, on the interior side, on the right side.
this one does, yes, but I'm looking at this side right here. I want to eliminate these two lines right here.
Oh yeah, correct. Right.
So, and it makes sense, like tile and backer board is going to go over gyp board anyway, so it could just be that we have to kind of stack the deck a little bit more and say that so tile finish is 300, gyp board is 300. So those two things are the same. Backer board is 400. So why don't we make tile finish 305 and backer board 302, and that'll clean that up. So, and this is why, like, I don't
Just need to get
necessarily,
like for 1 second a high level of what just happened.
yeah, yeah. So what I what I did is I found these building materials right here, right? And they were a higher building material than this building material right
Thanks,
here.
Chipboard.
What's that?
The tile was higher than Jip or the
Right. So the backer board was actually the highest. So the backer
oh,
board
backer
was
board. I see.
400.
So because the backer board was higher, it wanted to like pull itself all the way through and override the Jip on the other side.
Exactly. And that
Okay.
has to do with that reference line here, here, and here. It doesn't care what that extrusion is. It just recognizes that the reference line for this composite thickness is intersecting with a reference line for this composite thickness.
Yeah, exactly. So if I did it outside to outside or if I did it inside to, it wouldn't have mattered.
Right, exactly. So what I did is I bumped this building material here, the gypboard, up to 310, I think.
Weird.
And I dropped this building material here down to 305.
Okay, yeah, great. So
So now the gypboard is higher than both the tile and the backer.
higher than both the tile and the backer. Okay, is that going to create issues other places?
That's always the big question. So we do have to kind of like carry this through and make sure.
Yeah, okay.
Before we abandon this area, I don't want to lose
Oh,
focus.
we still have other problems to solve,
There
yes.
are other problems. So let's take a look at this, right? So here our thickest line is the outside to outside. That
Yeah,
seems to make sense. So let's get rid of this thick line right here. So we're going to go to that composite.
that's just my composite setting, right?
Exactly. So this is the outermost line. This is the next line. So that is pen one as well. But it looks like pen two is the thinner line. So if we make that pen two here, that's going to clean that up.
Uh-huh.
Clean up this stuff right here as well. So we've got a line here, here, and there. Oh, that's actually this line. So that's not tied to the composite. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it might not be what you think it is. You can move the grid off if you want. I haven't dimensioned anything
I think I don't want to mess with that if we don't have to, but
yet.
so knowing that that grid is there, that's I mean maybe we have to adjust our grid a little bit, but I don't think that that clutters that up. I
No,
do
no,
want
I'm
to
not
fix
afraid of a grid that has a fatter line weight. That's fine.
I do want
Okay.
to fix these connections right here though,
Yeah, for sure.
and I believe that that's tied to this composite right here. Let's just double check. So if we go to our composite settings, so this is the outer line, but this is that separator line right here. So this line is two, and this line is two. And this line is two. So that's the end line. You can see here in the little thumbnail, that's indicating that that's that cut line right there. So we say, okay, there. That doesn't seem to have fixed it. Let's check one more time. So that's pen 20.
How do you know? How do you set it to just the end line?
It's this when you select the building material, the
Yeah,
pen that's associated to that building material is actually the end line of that building material.
it's not the like. Okay, right.
That
Oh,
would be like
oh,
if the wall was on its own, right? So that's that
yeah.
pen there. So
Okay, how do I adjust that independently of like the intermediate lines that are all happening that are like actually identifying the stud location?
yeah, so the line right here, if you select a line type, notice
Uh-huh.
the arrow is pointing to that line segment. If I select a building material, it's actually pointing to that the little thumbnail shows the vertical line there.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
here we want two. In fact, it could be two all the way up. The only ones that need to be pen one are the outermost lines. But I don't think that that's going to fix that. I do want to check. I don't know that this actually affects that either. But let's go ahead and change these as well, just so we're consistent across the board.
Should we have that set up automatically in our wall type
Yeah,
setting?
that should be a composite issue.
So do we need to adjust that on our template?
Yes.
I mean, maybe I just added those because I did start with a favorite and I created a new wall type for everything that's in here. So maybe I just did that wrong. I don't know. Okay, well, regardless, we still haven't fixed it.
No, and I'm not sure why that's running through. Maybe okay, so let's double check
Material
this.
priority, because that outside is metal on that. It's
So
metal to
that's metal, and what's this one?
that's wood.
Right. So it could be
Is the metal dominating somehow or what?
the metal is running through, and I don't know that for a quarter inch floor plan, I don't know that it matters which one runs through or not
Oh, it definitely matters.
at the quarter inch scale. So do you want the
I would like to start with the assumption that I can fix every one of these problems before being told that it's impossible not to, because I will not be the only one who has that opinion.
No, I don't disagree with that premise at all. So if it matters that this building material runs all the way into this building material
Yeah,
that way, then it's showing correctly. It's just a question of can we get that line right there to show up with a lighter pen weight? And I don't know with the settings here how we could make that happen. So uncut overhead. We don't want to override the cut pens or cut surfaces of those walls. Um,
well, no, because that'll just do all of it, right?
it's an all or nothing kind of situation. Yeah.
Uh-huh. What if I had done that to the outside face?
That is a good question. Like if this were outside face here, offset back to here.
And just pull that back. Well, because you can make that one to outside face also, if you want.
Right, but they still have to intersect with the interior wall because if this comes to here, and actually,
I was like, why can't that though? Because that's actually how I started. What the model you're opening right now is after I spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to mess with this and failing, obviously.
well, let's just check it out. So if we go to there, I mean, we're back to where we were though. Oh, but like you said, this could be,
That also can be outside face,
uh-huh,
but it is outside face.
right. So that
Okay,
could
so it's
put,
a material issue.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, let me
Yeah,
backtrack because the ideal is to have them to face of core because that's, I mean, sort of building standards.
yeah, I didn't set them up that way. I'll probably have to go back through the whole thing and redo that, but that's okay. Chalk it up to learning.
I'm uncertain how to fix that.
Okay, well, if you have a second to look at it, that would be great. I mean,
I,
it's
I mean, this is going to drive me nuts if I can't figure it out. So I guarantee I'm going to tinker around with it for a couple hours more, but certainly don't need to play around with it on the fly. I mean, there has to be a way that we could say that that segment right there, it really, the way it should be is that that line right there should be defined by these line types here, but that's not what's going on. Um, I'll figure out an answer for that. I don't have one right now.
okay.
For the wall end here, the wall end tool can work sometimes. Um, this wall end extends. Go. But then it's a question of like, what are the settings and how does that actually wrap?
I mean, interestingly, it's like because we've got like a fat outside line there, and again, like to your point about the quarter inch scale, like I'm not that worried about how that shows up because that they're gonna have to go to a detail to figure that out anyway.
Yeah, it's just a question of like, is that sitting proud with that wrap? And is it showing with like these two layers? It should be showing with these two layers, I assume, wrapping or three layers wrapping around.
I would assume so, but it is also just a wall end, so it could be something else.
Right.
Basic question. I was dealing with wall ends. Is the wall end tool the only way you get
No,
the
no.
material to wrap?
Actually, my preferred way, if we go copy this wall and go to options and complex profiles, um, let's go here and we'll create a new one. Right, so and then we'll paste that whole wall into here. And what that's going to do is give me the building materials and the line types or pen weights that I need. So here I could say that let me turn off line weights.
I can turn off line weights. Like, was there?
There's a true line weight option right here. It's under view, on-screen view options and true line weight.
Is there a toggle for that?
I
Okay.
don't have a shortcut in my work environment, no, but you could, I mean, there can be.
Okay. Great.
And then here I'm going to make this pen 2. I'm going to pull this to, oops, to right here. Pull this to right here. Pull this to right here. Oh, that's the wrong one. That one goes there. That one goes there. And then if this needed to mirror across, the same thing.
Yeah.
So it dies in like right there. We can do that as well. Let's just go ahead and follow this through so we're getting it the whole way. This is a lot more tedious than just slapping a wall end on, but at the same time, it's sort of the correct way to do it.
Like more accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you a lot more control. It's sort of in the same vein as like what I always say about the stair and the railing tool. The wall end tool is great when all you need is something that's close enough. But if we want to say this is exactly what I'm designing, this is my intent is to have this metal wrap around like this, have this layer right here, have this layer right here, then I'm going to use this custom profile. And then we could say that it's going to tie right there to the core. The other thing you can do is I've set the boundary pen for this all to be pen 2. So if we turn on our true line weight again, right, it's not going to show with really thick lines. But in the profile manager, you could select the fill and I can say that this is going to be pen 1, this is going to be pen 1, and this is going to be pen 1. And then when we turn on our true line weight, right, you get that bold outer pen and then those thinner inner pens. Let's go ahead and apply this to a column. And we're going to say save. Remove all of those. We'll say, okay. Oh, it looks like I've got some other garbage floating out here. So we'll delete that and save. Okay, now if we close out and we place a column here, and the column could just be on like a trim layer. Trim exterior is fine. And we'll apply that here. And columns, because columns and beams really like to play nicely together, it's going to automatically find those building materials and intersect them. So if this really needs to be flush back here, then we can pull that to here and put the wall right here.
Is it going to show a line between them?
No, not if, so if the, let's take a look at those in 3D. If the surfaces match, it shouldn't. Right, so this surface right here doesn't have a surface override. It's just using the surface from the building material. Well, let me put on layout pens so we can actually see. So there's no line right there because the surfaces here and here are the same.
Okay, and all right, can we go back to the plan view?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a line that's showing up between the column and the interior gyp finish, but I guess it is actually.
That's because that gyp finish is not the same building material as this layer or this layer.
Yep, I get it. Okay, so it is accurate. Great. Okay, so we've solved that little problem. We have an outstanding question on what to do with that wall intersection between metal and wood. Can we go to, can you like zoom, like pan down to the hallway? Yeah, right there. See where there's like an obvious junction between a fat wall and a skinny wall?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, actually, we should solve that little area too. But that
Well,
might take.
and this is again, this is sort of dialing in those pens. So if we adjust the skin separator pens on this composite and the abutting pens, that's going to tidy that up a little bit. That and this, I think, is again just a building material.
Oh, they're
Hang
both
on.
drywall.
But I also wonder if, because that one's going to there, that one's going to there, that one's going to there. I wonder if this comes to here, as does this. Ugh. Well, if we take these two walls and say
I mean,
those
get
have
those little triangles.
it gets a little bit better.
It's better, but why do I get those weird little triangles like that?
It has to do with the way these walls want to cope together. I don't know. Actually, let's try this. Let's say, so that's there. If we say that this is core inside, and if this is
That is.
core inside, well that, oh, I see. And then this needs to join to right there. No, it doesn't want to eliminate that piece. Let me grab a screenshot of this. I'm currently working with Graphisoft on their sort of, now that 29 is out and available, like what's next is on their radar pretty heavily, like for developing features. So I'm going to send this as a wish list item because this comes up every time. So
Oh,
if
it's
that comes to here, that comes to here.
It's like I shouldn't have to go through this like trial and error process 100 times in a project.
I 100% agree, and I wish I had a surefire solution on figuring this shit out. I just don't.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, a lot like a Zoom meeting. It's a troubleshooting issue every time. And what is there? Oh, why is there an extra gap there? Is there something maybe on a hidden layer?
Shouldn't be.
do this.
Like it wants to be associated with the interior finish in the shower room where the tile is.
Right. Do this. Yeah, there's a weird that's coming through from right there.
From where?
That weird gap right there is coming from this wall.
I don't even know which wall we're looking at.
So this wall right here is trying to run through and it's creating that void.
Oh, but maybe because we've set the priorities different, it's not, I don't know.
That could be. So let's pull that to there. And let's reset all these to be 8, which is the default number. You clean it up in one place and it just
Okay.
comes
All right,
around and kicks you in another.
let us know what you come up with.
I'm definitely gonna puzzle around with that more as well. And this is another thing to just keep in mind is like when you start fussing with these reference lines and stuff, you got to follow it through with all other intersections. Like this one now is intersecting where that reference line used to be, but that pulled up, so now I've got to pull this up and re-intersect it. So that's another one. Let me just go ahead and dump some areas to troubleshoot further. So that, this, this one here should be pretty straightforward. I think that this is just reference intersections. So that one's coming to there. This one needs to come to there.
That is probably just an artifact of not having, of like trial and error for that one other condition.
Yeah, and
Although,
that's exactly.
are we still seeing that drywall like pull through for some reason?
Yeah, it's still doing that same thing where that drywall. Well, hold on. Are those
They're
the same?
both drywall.
So that's gypsum board,
Yeah.
and we're two's all the way across there, and then this one is gypsum board, and neither one was green board. Huh? Why would that? I mean, that should just clean up.
Wait, is that because it's not to the right reference line?
That's what I was just going to check and see, like if we put that to the inside core, shift it back over 3/4 of an inch, re-intersect those. Okay, in there. We're getting there. It's like there's a remnant from this though. I thought we already adjusted this building material or this composite. Yeah, there's no ones there. I'm fairly certain all of these should be 2s, yeah. So I don't know where. Oh, it's on that one. Did I miss one? 2, 2, 2. Weird. Oh, I did. I missed one right here. There we go. Oh, all right.
Okay, so it's just the fact that like when I set these things up, or in the favorite composite, they just need to be adjusted.
Yeah. And I think a lot of this is like the default composite in the template might be like just 2x4, 2x6 composite, and then figure out what the layers are. And then when you create a new one, you're going to duplicate. But if you duplicate and start adding layers, it might actually, so like on this one, for example, if I go edit select a composite, right? This is your pen 1. But if I were to insert another layer here, it's going to adopt or push that pen 1 down. So it should be fine as long as your template says the default composite setup with pen 1 only being on the outside.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll have to look into that.
Should be.
Yeah, so can we go to, and it's going to be a similar type of a thing, but can you just go to, oh, look at that, Well, you're just running into the fact that I did everything the outside face of
Yeah, that's going to be like chasing that around the plan.
it's gonna be irritating, but I'll do it. So yeah, so can we go to you see what there's like there's that fat wall that connects to thinner, like a more typical well, it's a far left of the screen, just underneath your track
Right
changes.
here.
Yeah, right there. So that like one of those is just a 2x6 plus 2x4 kind of a wall. The other one is a 2x6 wall.
Hmm.
I need those things to clean up with the great room wall at the bottom portion running perpendicular.
Right. Understood. So hold on a
So I've
second.
tried a lot of different configurations.
Well, first of all, let's put this one to inside core, and we'll get that back in the right spot. Oh, turn off true line weight, so no, I'm snapping. So there. And then if we set this one to outside core, or well, I guess it's inside core, but it's off opposite direction. And then I want to take, so this is gonna basically we want JIP at this point right here, right?
I want the jib to return at yeah. I want the jib to I want the jib to return at that little haunch. I
Hmm.
want it to return at the outside corner at the entrance to which is currently not right, like at the entrance to the hallway. And I want no line to exist there.
Right. I don't, I really don't understand this. Like why that's,
Like, what if I put a like if you put a wall cap on it, would it work?
um,
Well, I don't know how to solve that. Anyway, you see the problem. Uh,
yes. So
and
I do think, oh, let me go back here where we were, because this is close. I do think that this might actually get us the solution. If we had a column that was right here, it should interact with those walls. So if I were to take this stuff and go new, we'll cap O2. Oh, I also realize I'm putting these in the foundation. I'll readjust that here in a second.
okay.
Um, we'll delete that. We'll paste this into here. Let's see. So I know that the intersection of those walls is like right there. So I grab all of these, grab all of these, edit, reshape, fill consolidation. Should reduce the number of fills we have to just 3. And then I can tidy this up just a little bit. And then we will put and 2 around all of that. We'll split that. Oop, split that. Oh, geez, come on. Split that right there. And split that right here. And it doesn't really matter where it splits. It's okay, so there's that part. We'll eliminate a couple of extra nodes here that we don't need. And then this pen right here is going to be the pen 1, as will this one. And this one. The other thing about this is if I want an intersection point, say right here or right here, I can put hotspots. And that will add hotspots to the profile.
Yeah.
So now if I say save, close out of that, put a column in here. We'll put this one on the wall interior layer because it's really about being a wall. Apply that to here. That guy. And this is one of those like it seems like an extreme solution, but it does eliminate those triangles pretty effectively.
Okay.
So that's another solution when like you're really just ready to chuck your computer against the wall because nothing can clean up. That'll do it in a hurry.
Okay. And then when I look at that in elevation, am I going to see
You do want to carry this through to
line?
3D because it's you do want to make sure that that wall is the right height. Right, so it might need to, let's find a point that's going to give me that option. It might need to stop like right here where that wall's at.
Uh,
Why is that one not running through though? There was nothing like in there. And is there something above it in floor plan maybe?
there might be yeah, there might be. I mean, there's like a roof that exists up there. Yeah, there's like a loft floor up there.
I'm confused why this wall.
Doesn't go there. Yeah. Well, look up at the top. Is
Oh, oh, it was being trimmed by the roof.
well, yeah, because it needs to be. Oh, but not that roof. It needs to be trimmed by the lower roof.
Well, and it needs to be trimmed to the lower roof. So we would say um, this is the target. Oh, that's the operator, sorry.
There's like a difference between the trim to roof and solid element operations.
Trim to roof is an antiquated feature of ArchiCAD. The
Uh,
solid element operations feature was added in like ArchiCAD 9 or 10, and they just never got rid of the trim to roof feature. It used to be that if you wanted like a sloping wall, say trimmed to a stair or something, you had to actually put a roof under your stair as a trimming body, trim to the roof, and then hide the roof. Um, so the SEO solid element operations were a feature they added that allowed you to trim virtually anything to anything else. Um,
okay, so what I did when I trimmed those to the roof or whatever I did, I highlighted the wall, whatever walls I wanted to. I right clicked on it and then went to connect and then did trim elements to roof shell.
Yeah, and if you do that, it might, so it'll pro you can like say trim to that one, but if you trim the wrong direction, and that's what appeared to be happening is that this was actually trimming this wall with downward extrusion.
Yeah, and what's funny is that I don't think I actually told that wall to trim to that roof, but maybe I'm wrong.
It might have been part of a group selection or something.
Maybe, okay. But you don't want us to do that. You think we should do solid element operations.
I think solid element operations are the superior way to create Boolean functions and trimming bodies.
Okay.
The only exception to that is if you need a skylight schedule to associate skylights to zones, the zones have to be trimmed to the roof that's hosting the skylight in order for them to find that connection.
Got it. Okay, cool.
That's one of those weird quirks about ArchiCAD that keeps me employed.
Okay, so let's go to that outside corner there. You see that?
This corner right here.
Yeah. What's wrong with that thing?
I think that's just because we adjusted the reference line here, but we didn't re-intersect those. So we just have to say intersect.
Ah, that's so nice. Yes, you have to love that. Okay, and now when I put a door in there, if it was a pocket door and it intersected with that column that you just created, would it be a problem?
Not technically, what I would do for that though, and that might actually resolve the issue right away anyway, is you would want this to run all the way across to host that door anyway.
Oh no, not that. No, it would be in the skinny portion of the skinny wall, a skinny fat wall connection.
Oh, a door right here.
No, in the thinner part.
Here.
Yeah, exactly. But the pocket door might go to the south, to the bottom of the page through that door.
There may be issue. Well, I mean, let's just go ahead and dump one in there and see what it does. It might be a display order issue. But let's go ahead and check openings, doors, specialty doors, sliding doors, pocket door. It might be a display order issue.
Yeah, so it doesn't fully go into that, does it?
But if you were to say that display order, bring to front, it's going to overlap.
Oh, okay.
So it's not technically hosted by these, but graphically it's
Oh,
2D.
but I would want it to be hosted by the 2x6 wall assembly, which is fine.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. All right, cool.
Do you want me to leave that in there for now or delete it?
Delete it because it actually doesn't run that way. I just wanted to find out what the answer to that question
Okay.
is.
Yeah. So I mean, it does work. You just have to kind of tinker with the display order a little bit. So that wall
Uh,
runs through that one.
I have to tinker with fill in the blank. That's the answer to everything.
With the, yeah, I mean, yeah, you just have to screw with everything to get it to work.
Okay, great. Okay, can we go to 3D view? Just zoom all the way out of that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at that roof edge. So that roof edge is just a roof. It's just an ArchiCAD roof at the moment.
Mhm.
It's a beam intersecting with it, but that's just a roof. And the reality of that is that we're going to have a fascia that is flush with the siding and the columns and everything, all in that plane. And it needs to kind of eat into that roof. And then it kind of like follows the gable profile down and like goes all the way around the whole building. What is the best way to model that? And a follow-up question is, know that part of what we'll want to do, ideally in this 3D display in elevation, is show how the roof flashing, the roof edge comes down a couple of inches over top of that fascia. So you actually see like an inch and a half line all the way around the perimeter. It's metal, and the remainder of it below that is fascia.
Almost like a box kind of drip edge kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that.
Okay, let's take a look at that. So, the fascia obviously is not going to sit all the way to face of finish on that roof. So if I take a measurement here to here and say that that's going to be my beam depth is 10 and 3/32. I'm going to come into here, we'll say new, and we'll say fascia sample one. Um, and again, I'm dumping this in the in the
We'll make another complex profile.
yep, just going to make it out of a complex profile. So here I'm going to say
Guy
that
who doesn't like complex profiles. We're getting a lot of complex profiles.
it really is the powerful tool for this.
Okay. It's not like a morph, and it's not a like. Why wouldn't it be a morph?
So the morph is a surface model tool. And it's really, I mean, it's a sloppy tool. The morph is a super sloppy tool for stuff like this.
Okay.
It doesn't like to be super accurate. It also is not super flexible. So if and when that profile ever needs to change, you essentially have to throw it out and start over.
Okay.
So the beam and or column tool is the preferred tool for things like trim.
Okay. Cool.
Let's see here. So if that's my total profile depth there, go ahead and say okay there. I don't know what building material I'd want to use for this. We'll just stick with wood structural for right now. And then if I wanted like a flashing cap, hold on, let me go back to 3D. What was the roof slope here? 10 and 12, and then this finish was 21/32 thick. So let me dump in a line here. Right, so there's my roof slope, and I want so it'd be something like that would be
Hmm.
I'm just going to be super quick and sloppy with this because the exact design is sort of TBD. Um, the wrong button.
No, an hour after this. Yeah, maybe I'll just go.
All right, so if I have a drip edge that does something like that, and
Yeah.
whatever needs to box out, whatever it needs to be, I'm modeling it with fills. Let's really quickly just so we have something more
And out
precise.
of curiosity, why are we modeling that angled portion that goes up the roof on top? Like, I mean, it's going to be underneath the metal, I guess.
Yeah, and that's so this is flexible. I just mostly want to illustrate sort of how we would globally change this or edit it.
Yeah.
So
Well, and the reason I asked Patrick is because, like, actually, if you look at that roof composite, there's like a portion of roof metal in it that's like a half an inch thick or something.
Right.
That's not really what it is, right? It's there's plywood and there's metal roof that's made of 16th inch metal.
Right. It's not going to stand off
Set it
that
up a
way,
little
but
bit, and I'm just wondering, like, do we want to actually model that flashing as though it's like a real thing? Because that's how it would really be, right? It would go up the slope, and then we have the metal would lap over top.
yeah, and it would be buried inside of this roof thickness.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like whatever that detail ends up being, you can model that here. As long as you're modeling it with fills, it's gonna um,
Okay.
extrapolate into the profile. And the cool thing is like if I've modeled this correctly, so I want the reference line of that beam to be at the top of rafter or top of sheathing or whatever it is. If I've defined that origin point for the beam, whatever I do to move this up, maybe the whole thing needs to move up an inch to work or come
Yeah,
down.
it'll just create it for you, right?
And then the reference line's fixed. It's fixed in its position. Similar to what we were talking about the other day, if like you design your walls with the reference line having some intended location, resizing the wall from 2x6 to 2x10 to double stud to whatever, that fixed point is the fixed origin for that wall.
Got it. Okay.
So here I'm going to say that this is maybe it's a beam and or a column. We'll go ahead and say save here. And I'm going to
But you
draw
can
this.
select more than one. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it can be
Okay.
all of the above. It's just a filter for what's available. And then we'll apply that here.
It looks like you're applying that really quickly. How are you doing that?
Just click the apply button right here. So I draw the beam in.
Oh, I see. Okay, I just can't follow the cursor that fast. All right.
Yeah, so there's all of my profiles. Here I can see those wing end caps that I modeled. Here's the fascia.
Got
You
it.
can, if they're filtered into folders, you can even search by folder. I've been strategic.
I would probably give him a project name
What's
first.
that?
Like, I'd probably give him a project name or a project number.
Yeah, the a naming convention consistent for like what you're adding to the project is a great idea. Like Maxwell fascia would be fine. Some way to know that that's what's going on. So that reference line I drew in at um
I think you need to drop it down to the bottom of sheathing, maybe.
if I wanted a bottom of sheathing, yeah, run the sheathing over the top of it.
Because I think
You
that might be a
can
little.
see like there are building material potential conflicts here, where
Um,
this element right here, what is the building material being used there is wood structural. So technically that should be, we should be able to say that this and this are targets, and this is an operator. Do a subtraction with upward extrusion. I might need to,
I think that column might have been accidentally selected, but maybe I'm wrong.
I wanted to trim the column to this so that it was running through the column,
Oh,
but I
just the one?
think
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna make this metal. Not because it's going to be metal, but because I need a heavier building material.
Okay.
And then that's gonna
Like
cut
you just do a
through.
graphic override or something?
Um,
Or a surface override?
yeah, it could be, you could use a surface override for that. And here I want to actually not be SEOing to the roof. So it's not sucking with upward extrusion there. But it might need to trim anyway. So if we say that this is the operator, this is the target, and do a subtraction with no extrusion. So that way that fascia trims out, is flush with that and trims out. I don't have that overlap or that flicker.
Uh,
So it also looks like it might not be quite deep enough for that roof.
well, that's okay. We just gotta adjust that dimension, I assume. Okay. Well, that's also
The other thing
that's
that you
gonna be
can
a
do,
funny condition anyway because it's like it's gonna go from being a fascia around the like above siding, and then it's gonna become kind of like a beam slash fascia look where it kind of where it pulls out of the envelope, you know.
right, the bottom might have a different shape depending on where it's at. So you might have multiple.
Yeah, yeah, and then for that matter, that same fascia trim is going to go up the roof and down the roof and then around the roof.
Right. So I do want to point out one thing here that let's go ahead and say save. So I just did a quick surface override on this. Not that you're going to see it in the black and white model, but
Yeah, we will. That's okay.
if we go to simple shading. So I overrode this to have that trim surface. So there's, what is this beam doing? Oh, I see, that's your main
That's
bar.
kind of how I want it. I mean, we might pull it back a little bit, but I think more likely we would just pull the fascia out a quarter of an inch or something.
So let me take a quick stab at, so that's going there. So if I were to draw, oh, I see.
Yeah. I assume
Oh,
that's not going to work.
yeah, it does not like those intersections, this to this. Does
Yeah.
not like that at all.
I
So
was imagining we have to do two because even if it did like it, it's still sloping, uh, you
yeah.
know, in ways that don't
So
work.
the way around this is if we move this up and out of the way for right now, is to have another beam that is horizontal here
Uh,
that this one dies into. And I don't know exactly how we're going to detail that right now, but like how that exactly ties together. But that will heal up to this. So that might not be exactly where we want that angle, but that's getting us the right
it's
direction.
not, but I see where you're going with it.
So there's some more fuss work to do with getting that dialed. But again, like if this was coming all the way down, it would be way down here also. So there's got to be some other solution, whether
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. I mean, maybe there's a 3D object that has to get built around that corner. I don't know.
Mhm. And you would need a separate profile for this anyway, because this isn't going to have
Yeah,
any
exactly.
flashing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's, I mean, conceptually, that's kind of how we handle those. The other way that you can do it is in your layers. You can create a new, hold on, what's our trim layer called? Trim exterior. So um, let me do this. So if I say new, trim exterior, non-intersecting, and say that this is like non-intersecting, say this is group 3 or 2 or something like that, then I can get away with not having that extra piece. So I could say that this is on the non-intersecting layer. And then even if these two things do butt into each other, they won't recognize each other.
Okay.
So if this comes to here, for example, it doesn't intersect, doesn't recognize the intersection. But there's still that issue of like something needs to happen here in order to clean that up.
Okay.
So a couple of different options there. Either you have like a dog leg return, or you have non-intersecting layers and then have to have like a solid element operation on a hidden thing or something. Something else needs to happen there. Okay.
Okay, we'll figure that out. Okay, I think I'm gonna have more questions, but there's not enough time. Um, can we go to a building section? Just pick one, doesn't matter. And zoom to like where a wall base intersects with the floor.
Uh-huh.
But you know why that's happening.
So it's that unlike walls where they're going to automatically find their reference lines, these two things do have to sort of overlap or inject into each other. So if this pulls down to here, then the core finds that core.
Yeah. So the thing is, I've set this. So my question really is, I mean, I understood that already. My question really is, the reason this is happening is that I set up my finished floor elevation to be the story line.
Mhm.
And and, you know, there's a layer of finish before you get down to the plywood and so forth. And now I set up all of my walls project wide to be, you know, basically to that story elevation.
Right.
And I don't want to have to go through every one of these walls and change them to have that, like, just basically drag down 3/4 of an inch below that storyline. What's a way to solve that now after the walls are built?
After the walls are built, you have two options. We can either stretch those down, which you said you didn't want to do, or we
I can if I have to. I'm just like, yeah,
that would be my preferred option. The other way is to say that we're going to design our floor to face of subfloor, and then basically everything has to vertically shift that extra 3/4 inch.
I see. So we've yeah, and which also doesn't work.
Right.
Because then now I mean, this is actually correct apart from the intersection of the parts. So okay,
Right.
so you gotta
And
go in
and
and
it's
manually do it.
actually it's better if this does run down because if you have interior thresholds, weirdly enough, if you have interior thresholds where the wall is sitting on the finish instead of on the core, uh,
Huh?
it'll have like this weird flicker where it shows the core of the wall where this runs through instead of the floor finish. So if there's
Uh,
a door that sits right here and you want that floor finish to run through that door threshold, it seems like that should just happen. But because this isn't sitting on the core, for whatever reason, it doesn't recognize that opening as running through that core.
Uh,
It's super
I think
counterintuitive. It's not the way that it should work, but that's oftentimes what happens is when I get somebody telling me that they're seeing their whatever framing at the door threshold, it's usually because the wall was not set to the slab's core.
okay.
So
And there's no way to like set the reference line of that floor to the top elevation, like to the actual finished floor elevation, so that they'll connect.
no.
I'm saying like if I had two walls, I could do that. It doesn't matter where the line is.
Yeah, the walls in plan, section elevation, they're all going to connect with each other relatively easily by building material. But the walls to slabs, they actually have to overlap.
Okay. So when we build our assemblies and we set up our storylines, they need to be a subfloor.
Yeah. Yeah, so my typically like a composite for me would include um a subfloor here. So I'd have wood structural 11 7/8, whatever, 3/4 inch and a quarter subfloor, and then finished floor on top of that.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. All
And
right.
then that subfloor would also be part of the core assembly. I wouldn't define that as other. I would say that that subfloor is the core.
And that would, I think that's how it's set up, isn't it? Or no?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'm sure there will be more.
Okay. Yeah. I do have a calendar weekly open calendar invite with Sarah on Mondays, and it's sort of just it could be a more of a group session. So if there are more things like this, or if you just want to have like separate breakout sessions, we can also do that. So.
Okay. Do you actually have those meetings, Sarah?
I check in with her ahead of time just to say, hey, is there anything we need to meet about? It's been a few weeks, but that's largely because that Budapest trip kind of locked that out.
Yeah, right, right.
The week before she didn't need to meet, so it's been a few weeks since I met with her.
Cool. Should I go to Budapest for fun?
It was a beautiful city, man. Like great city, beautiful sights. The food's awesome. The people are great. Yeah, I love it over there. It's the second time I've been there, and it's just beautiful. Amazing parks and museums and everything.
Cool.
I'll
Well,
I'll do a photo dump on the general Slack channel or something of some of the things that saw around there.
cool. All right. All right. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Bill your time to Max Welton Beach or just Max Welton.
All right, will do, and I'll get this recording uploaded as soon as I get back from the kids' school.
Thank you very much.